Welcome to the time management portion of this training. Okay, now, if you want to make money fast in this industry, you need to make sure that you're utilizing your time appropriately. Okay? As I mentioned in the previous module, being busy does not necessarily mean that you're being productive. And you want to make sure that every minute that you're spending is productive time so that you're progressing in your business and you're actually making money in this business. Okay? A good way that people use to prioritize time is it's called the Pareto principle. I believe that's how you say it. Pareto principle. And basically what the Pareto principle states is that 80% of your results is typically created by 20% of your actions. Okay? And this has been proven in many different areas in life and even in economy and stuff. I think that's where the principle is actually derived from. 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your actions. So you want to identify what is that 20% of action steps that you're taking that's going to produce that 80% of your results. Okay? Now, we like to separate things into two categories. Okay? One category is what we call money-making activities. These are the activities that you're performing that's going to have a direct result in the income that you're making. Okay, so these are the activities that's directly creating your income. Okay, those are called money-making activities. The other portion is what's called passive money-making activities. So a passive money-making activity are the things that are essential in your business, but doesn't necessarily have a direct impact on the income that you're generating right now. Okay, so it's still necessary things to do. Now, what the dangers of the business is getting stuck doing this, because 80% of your income is going to come from those money-making activities. So you want to make sure you're spending 80% of your time doing money-making activities, 20% doing passive money-making activities, the passive money-making activities, okay? So let's take a look at what those money-making activities are. Okay, money-making activities are basically communicating with people, okay? So let's look at some examples of what money-making activities are. Phone calls, calling prospects, making connections by phone, messaging people on social media, on text message, through email, emailing people, sending people information about your offer, about the business opportunity, about the health benefits of the water. Those are money-making activities. Also networking, meeting new people in order to grow your what we call warm market. The warm market is called your market, your network of people who know, like, and trust you. Okay, that's separate from what you call a cold market, which is people who don't know you at all. You're a complete stranger. That's what you call a cold market. That's why it's called cold calling. Okay. Statistically, you have a much higher ratio of closing your warm market, people who are warm to you, people who know, like, and trust you, okay? So networking and meeting new people who are cold to you and building a relationship and turning them into your warm market, that's a money-making activity, okay? Networking. Processing orders, close deals, processing orders, that's money-making activity, Okay, so for example, if you want to read a self-development book or you want to submit an order, what do you prioritize and do first? Submit that order, close that sale before you start your self-development book. Okay, money-making activities. That's what you want to focus 80% of your time doing. Okay, processing orders, sending order forms to brand new distributors who are ready to join. Okay, those are all money-making activities. I'm going to say this: parties, gatherings, get-togethers are a lot of fun, and if you treat them right, parties are money-making activities. But you have to go to parties, you have to go to these gatherings and get-togethers with intention, okay? If you go to these gatherings and you're just gonna get drunk and have fun and hang out with the same people that you already know, you've wasted your time, okay? If you go to a gathering with intention to make a brand new connection with new people, then that party turns into a networking event. Okay, so it's there's a thin line where it becomes a party and when a party can become a networking event, and you want to make sure that you're utilizing these events correctly, because those could be great sources to network and meet like-minded people and positive people who can potentially join you in your business and become a brand new warm market connection. Okay, so make sure you're utilizing correctly, and then that could also become a money-making activity for you. Okay, so remember, Pareto principle: 80% of your results stem from 20% of your activities. Make sure you're focusing your time on that 20% of activities. Okay, so spend 80% of your time on that 20% of activities, Pareto principle. Okay, so what are the passive money-making activities? The PMMA. Okay, you got the MMA, money-making activities, the PMMA, passive money-making activities. Passive money-making activities are stuff like self-development, okay? Self-development audios, podcasts, readings, reading books. You want to make sure. I mean, this stuff is super important. Remember, you can't succeed past your level of understanding of success. So you need to grow and develop as a person in order to reach a higher level of success. So this stuff is mandatory for your success, but you want to make sure you're not spending 80% of your time doing that and 20% of your time actually prospecting and communicating with people who are going to buy machines and join your team, okay? That's where you want to be careful, not get stuck doing the passive money-making activities 80% of your time, doing passive money-making activities, stuff like self-development, podcasts, reading books. Okay, another one. This is a really dangerous one. People get so stuck spending an entire day doing, which is social media posting. Okay, you don't want to spend your entire day just posting on social media and not actually making real life connections with people, messaging people. Okay, yes, the social media post opens up the door to make the communications. But if you're just posting and you're not communicating, then you're spending a lot of time on non-money making activities, the passive stuff. So make sure you're docking your time and make sure you're not spending all your time doing passive money making stuff, self-development, social media posting, designing your website, and stuff like that, because that's what's going to make a difference on whether you're going to make 5 to 10 sales in a month or 0 to 3 sales in a month. Okay, in that month, were you spending most of your time doing money making activities, or were you spending most of your time doing passive money making activities? I've in the past been able to see, like, statistically, the more time I spend on my phone communicating with people, sending messages, talking on the phone, sending emails out, the more emails and there's more text messages and social media messages and phone calls I've made that month, the higher my income was that month. Okay? If at the end of the month I've sent less messages, I've spent more time making more posts, literally my income has dropped in that month. So you can tell how much money you've made that month by how many people you've spoke with, how many messages you've sent out, how many emails you've sent, how many phone calls you've made. There's a direct correlation to your income to how many of those messages and phone calls you've made. So you want to make sure you have sent out those money-making those messages and spent 80% of your time doing those money-making activities. Focus on those MMAs, the MMAs. That is the stuff that's going to make your money. 80% of your time doing that, 20% of your time doing social media posts, doing self-development. Make sure you don't forget the self-development though. Okay, so keep track of your time. Keep a schedule. If you need to ask a family member or a loved one to make sure that you're being accountable for the time that's being spent. Because remember, especially since you're working 9 to 5, you only have a couple of hours to work on that dream. Okay? You only have a couple of hours a day until you get out of that 9 to 5. You want to make sure that those few hours that you have after work on the weekends are producing the maximum amount of results. Okay? So you don't want to just be self-developing after your 9 to 5. You need to be communicating with people, talking with brand new people every single day, sending out your links, sending out information, plugging people into 3-way calls with your upline. These are the things that's going to make you money. So make sure you're spending 80% of your time, regardless on how many hours a week you've set aside on your goals. When you've created those goals, when we're doing the goal setting, how many hours a week are you going to spend on working your dream? Make sure 80% of that time, 80% of those hours are spent doing money-making activities. Okay? So I hope this makes sense for you. Okay? With that said, let me see what the next module is. I think that is actually the last module, lesson 6, becoming a professional. Okay? So those are the most important skill sets to get you started right away making money. There's a lot of other stuff to learn. Make sure you get into the bonus sections. I'm gonna keep adding more trainings into all these other sections, because there's a lot of skill sets to become a real powerhouse and professional in this industry. But these are literally the key, most important aspects for you to be making money now in this industry. So make sure you perfect these things, because these few things that you've learned right now can make you a lot of money before learning all the other stuff. There is to learn. That's the beauty of this industry. You get to earn while you learn. Okay, these are the key and simple, most effective things to learn right now in order to get started making money now in your business. So perfect these things. Make sure you're very strict and you're perfecting learning how to invite, creating your goal and sticking to your goal, and being accountable for your time, where you're spending your time in order to make money in this business. Okay, so make sure you're plugged into everything. The next module, we're going to go into more advanced stuff. Lesson 7 is how to become specifically a network marketing professional in this industry. Okay, this is more specific things that you're going to learn that actually grows and makes money faster. Okay, faster than what traditional direct sales and traditional sales and traditional ways of thinking. We're gonna go outside of the box a little bit in the next lessons and the next modules on how to really build a big business and make money faster in this industry. So these are gonna be some really exciting concepts for you to learn. So I'm excited for you to be able to be learning this stuff, because these are the specific things that we do and how we build this business that allows us to make building a business easier and make making money even faster. Okay, so it's gonna open your mind a little bit, think a little bit outside the box, and I'll see you at the next lesson. See you there.